Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to explain you the working of login, registration and the password option as well. So we all know for any website or for any kind of applications, the login part, the registration part is important because to collect the user's data, right? So in this case, now I'm going to teach you like how it is done, how the login and registration process is done. I'm using Firebase database as my backend and Angular framework as my front end. And now I've already created a project called Authenticator in my VS Code, that is the Angular project. And I've also created a project in my Firebase as well. So in my previous videos, I've showed you like how to create a project in your Angular CLI and how to create a project in your Firebase and as well as how to connect those two, the Angular to the Firebase and all. So I've showed you in my previous videos. I'll give the links of those videos in my description box as well. You can go and check that. But please don't forget to check and don't forget to follow the steps as it is. Or else, if you don't follow, you may find errors at the last. So please follow the steps perfectly. And now I'm going to show you the login registration and forgot password option part as well. Okay. Now, in this app component.html page, I've removed everything except this router outlet code. This line is very important for us. So I've removed everything and now I've also run my project because I don't want to waste much time. So I've run the project. Okay. So now I'll open this. Let's see. We don't have anything because we have removed everything in our app component.html page, so we don't have anything there. So what we'll do is that we'll generate some components here because we need to work, right? So what I'll do, I'll just like if you press on this plus mark, you'll get the new terminals here. Okay, you can just use that to install or add some dependencies as well, because if you like in this terminal only, if you want to install that, you need to close this terminal and then again install and then again you need to run your project. So that is a waste of time, right? So I'm using this terminal to install any dependencies I need. So what I'll do, I'll just install the component now. The first component I'll install is home. So I'll have the home page first, and then I'll install this the auth component as well. That is the next page. So ngdc auth. Okay. Yes. Now what we'll do is that we'll go to our home. What happened? It's nothing. Everything is perfect. Like later it will work. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll remove this home works and I'll just add the heading because this is the first page of my website, right? So I'll just give some headings and style. You div class, I'll add the class as button. I'm giving the I'm giving the div option for the button and the class for the button because later if I want to move my button, I can move it easily. So using my css file. So in that case I'm using this. So let's see. Yes. Now if you want that to run, you need to give the routing part. Routing part also I have explained you in my previous videos. I'll give the link of that video also, so go and check that. Hmm, home component, I'm giving empty in this path because as soon as I run my project, I want this home page should be displayed first. So I'm giving this empty and here I'm filling it as component auth, because the next routing part would be auth. So auth component. Okay, you have to initialize the components which you are using. Like if you want that move to the next page. Okay, so what I do, see, you got this. But the thing here is the button, sorry, the button, this button is not like it's not so attractive, right? So to make it attractive, what I'll do is that I'll install the material. So ng add at angular slash material. So this material will be helpful for us to add some colors or at the cards also. We are using the cards as well in our project, so that would be helpful. But you need to import the card button module and all in your app module. So what I'll do, mat button module, I'll import it from angular slash material slash button. Okay, next I'll import the card. I'm using the card here, so mat card module from the same thing, angular material card. Okay, and I'll be using the bottom sheet. I'll also show like how the bottom sheet works. Mat bottom sheet module from angular material slash bottom sheet. Okay, yes, now everything is done. What you have to do is that you need to copy this and you need to paste here under the imports. That is very important. Yes, done. So now what you have to do is that here you need to like, use that, use the material. So for the button, I'm using it as matte flat button, and I'll give the color as primary because this is the basic color of the button, right? So I'm using, you can use one if you want some orangish color as well. Okay, here you need to install it by selecting custom. Yes. So because I've already installed this in my system, so I'll get the result like this. So since for you to show, I'm installing it again. Okay, you can install by using this command as well, no problem. So I'm using custom and I've selected S and I've included animations as well. So this is the process like how to install this material. Since I've already installed this, I'm getting the style for this button. Okay. So you can see the button is in blue color. If you use one, you'll get it in the orange color. I'll show you. If you use one, you'll get it in the, okay. What you do if you get the error like this, no, just go to this file, remove this. Okay, remove that line because it is already there in your fourth line. The material as matte, it is already in your fourth line. So just remove there in the 39th line. You'll get a warning. That's okay, no problem. If you get a warning, it's okay. But if you get an error, that's the problem. See, it got the orange-ish color. Yeah. So now what I'll do is that I'll add some click function to this button because if we click it has to do some action, right? So I'll add some function to that like on get in click. Okay, so again I'll go to css and first give it as mm, h1. For the welcome line I'll give as text align center and I'll give some padding as well. Padding would be like 7 so that it would be like at the center of the sheet. So button, since I've added the class for the button, I'll use dot button same text align center. So let's see what's happening to this. Okay, okay. You need to use this button here in your TypeScript file. So you are getting error because you have not used it. So it cannot identify what this option is. So that you need to use it in your TypeScript file. So for that you have to first use on init option. Then you'll get this. Remove this line. After this, use constructor. Constructor is also very important if you are using any other any other files, or if you are using any other services here, the constructor is very important. Okay, now I'm using that option, that they can click option here. Like what happens if I click that button, what happens? So what I'll do is that I'll show you the how the bottom sheet works now. So what I'll give here is this dot login sheet dot open the auth component. Okay, now you need to fix this, so that we'll add the options here. Login sheet, what you need to do is that in your constructor you need to use that. So I'll use it as private because I'm using it only for this project. Private login sheet from mat bottom sheet. Okay, so now you can fix this, that is it will get imported here. See, it got imported here. Now there's no error. Come, let's check what will happen. Okay, because there is a gap at the above also and at the below also. So what you need to do is that go to home CSS and give it as padding only for the top, so that the padding would be only at the top side, and this button will be near here. Yeah, see, if you click on this, see, this is called the bottom sheet. Like, this is how it works. The remaining background will get little darker and it will get little highlighted. So this is how it works. But now if you want the other way, like if you don't want this bottom sheet, but you want this to move to the other sheet, so what you do is that you just give this dot router dot navigate to auth. Yes, if you give like this router also you need to initialize in your constructor. Router is nothing but router itself, the router part which we are using, the same thing, so that it will just move to the next page, the auth page. See, auth works. Auth works is in your auth.html page. So we are getting auth works here. Okay, if you click on this it moves to the next page, but if you are using bottom sheet, if you click on this here only, it will get the sheet will be displayed here itself. So that is the difference. Okay, you can use any of those. You can use any of these like bottom sheet, or you can navigate from one page to another page, that's your wish, but I'm using this navigate option here. Okay, now what you have to do is that, now let us go to this is the home page is done. Now let us go to the auth page, and then let us add some structure here. So what you need to do is that first you need to add div and give the id as auth. Okay, next I'll add mat card. I'm keeping everything inside this card itself, so I'll give the id for that as content, and then I'll add another div for everything, for login, for authentication, like for registration, for forgot password, for everything I'll add the div. So mat card, I'll give the title for those. So what I'll give the title as login. Okay, mat card login. Be careful with this spelling, guys. Sometimes it will show that red line, or sometimes it will not show. Then it would be a problem. You need to search every time, like where is error, where is error. At the last, you'll get to know that the spelling is mistake. Then you'll feel like, oh shit. So be careful with the spellings. And for the login, you'll just only need the email and password, right? So I'm using, if you are using password, please mention the type of the password as well. Otherwise, it will just display your password. So we don't want that, right? If you type the password, it should be in the form of dots or star marks like that. We don't want to display it. Okay, so I'm using two input fields here, and this placeholder. Placeholder is nothing but, wait, I'll show you. It's running. If I get in, see, this placeholder is nothing but you'll have this email and password written in your box. You cannot you cannot backspace it, but if you write something, if you type something, it will go. So that is called as placeholder. Okay, so I'm using these two in my login page. Now I need to have the button for my login, right? Login form. So I'll use button. I'll give the same design, same matte option here, like matte flat button. In the color I'll use primary because I like blue color. So I'll use primary and I'll give the option as login itself. Okay, in the home page also I'll turn it to primary. Yes. Now we are done with the login part. So now what you have to do is that just copy this old div, and after this give the div again. So just do it two times because one is for register. I'll give it as create account. Create account and register both are same. Here register, the button name is register, and for registration we need one more line, right? The confirm password we need. So just copy this password, paste it here. Okay, give the placeholder name as confirm password and give the type as password itself. Then here it would be forgot password. Forgot password. For forgot password, the only email is enough. So what I'll do, forgot password. The button would be changed like forgot password. Now let us see what is happening. See, it is actually the card which is there. Like you can see a light shadow here. This is the card. Okay, let us add some styling to this so that it would look neat. Okay, for that you need to go to a CSS file. Here, first I've used the auth as my ID, right, for the first div. So what I'll do, I'll just give display it as flex so that it would be at the center of my page, and I'll just content. I'll have all the content at my center. Okay. Next, I'll align all the items at the center. Okay. Now I'll give a small amount of padding of 1 m, and the box sizing, because we are using card here, I'm using the box sizing as border box. And after this I've used content also here, I guess somewhere, yeah, mat card. For the card I've used the content. So what I'll do, I'll just give the content also this some styling. So I'll give width as 100%, and now I'll select the maximum width. Maximum width would be like 30 m. There's no any rule that you have to use these style measurement itself. It's up to you. You can use any numbers here. Okay, just look at it. If the styling is perfect, then you can use. Then for the button I'm giving the margin as 0.5 m, a very little margin I'm using. And then for the input, that is for the form there, let us give the width as 100% itself, and the padding, let us give like 1 m, and margin 0.5 m and 0. Okay. Next, you need to use the border radius, because or else you'll have the sharp edges. So I've used at the borders you'll have the sharp edges. So I'm using some little border radius so that it will be little curved there. And outline is none. I don't need any outline here, so I'm giving it as none. And for the border, I'll add a little amount of solid black color. Okay, border. Yes, now it's done. Now let's see, look at the styling part. How does it look? See, see, this is the card. Okay, but now everything is in this line itself, this card itself. I don't want it to be like that. So what I'll do, I'll just go to this HTML page once again, and I'll give some options at the down. That what you need to do is that after this div, give it as mat card actions. Okay, then I will align it at the end because I, oh shoot, what happened? Mat card actions. Okay, and I will align this at the end. Yes. Now under the actions, I'll give few buttons like to give the same styling, matte, flat, button. But now I'm not giving any color here because I don't want any color now. Okay, so the button would be like login, login and register and forgot password. Register, forgot password. Okay, register or create account if you wish. Forgot password. Okay, now let's see how it looks. See, you'll have these options here. Now the main motto is if you click on register, only this create account form should display. If you click on forgot password, only this forgot password form should display, and login, only this login form should display. Come for let us do like that. For that, first you need to give actions for this options, right? So I'll give it as click equals on login click. Okay, now again the same thing, you can just copy paste, copy here on register click, here on forgot password click. So what I'll do, I'll just change it as on register click, on forgot password click. Okay, so for that you need to go to your ts file and use that here. You need to use implements on in it. Okay, you need to fix this as well. Mhm. Yes, fix this, remove this, add the constructor here. Constructor is very important, don't forget that. Okay, next what you need to do is that after this ng on it, you give, you use those functions like the click options you need to use. Okay, on register click, on forgot password click. Yes, and now also on login click I have used on, I will, okay, on login click. Okay, see now the errors are gone because we need to use that. So what happens if you click on login on register is that for that before you need to create one state here, that is you need to create one enum and use this state here. For that, at the last of the code, give it as export enum, enum. Enum is nothing but like a group of imagine a group of wild animals living in for in like where would it live in the forest, right? So then the forest is called as enum. So in that way, we are using everything, this login, register, and password in one name, that is authcom state. So that is called enum. So what we do, since we have used this here, we need to like initialize this state because we need to address it in the form of in the name of state, right? So what you need to do above this constructor, you just give it as state is equal to com state dot login. I'm giving it login because as soon as I like as soon as the card displays, I want the login form to be first. Because everywhere you see like in your login page, You would see the login page first, right? Then if you want to create account, then you'll move to the create account page. So that's why I'm using. Now in this options you need to give it as, you need to use that. So on this state, form state, for this login I'm using the login option, and you need to copy this, and you can use it for these two as well, for register and for forward password. Just change this, register, forgot password. Let us see now what happens. We have everything here. Register, forgot password. Okay, but now we want this to move, right? If you click on register, we want only this form. So for that, what you need to do, you need to go to like HTML, and then you need to use one more thing, like inside your div, you need to give one more if condition. Like at the starting div, you need to give it as ng if that is a login state. If you click on a login state, then you need to, that login form should open. Again for register, same thing. If it is a register state, is register state, then the register form should open. And again the same thing here, ng if it is a forgot password state, forgot password state, then this form should open. For that, again after this, you need to use those options as well. So is login state, then what you need to do is that you need to return to that form, right? So you use return and copy this thing, copy this login line and paste it here. Okay, the same thing. So now again you need to do for register, is register state. Okay, again return the same line, you have to copy, paste. But the thing is you need to use two equals to symbol here. Then you'll move to that form. Is forgot password. Then you need to again return to the forgot password form. Copy, paste. Okay. Now I think you would have understood like how is it used there. So now go to this page. See, you're getting forgot password. If you click on login, okay, you're getting both. If you click on register, okay, why is this forgot password everywhere? Outcome. Okay, see, I've not used two equals here. So for that, come let's see now. See, the login form is first. That is, this is the home page, right? If I click on get in, the login form is seen first, because at the starting I've given it as login. If I give it as register, you can see the register form first. I'll just go back and then click on get in. See, the register form is at first. Now if I click login, the login will open. If I click register, register will open. For forgot password, the forgot password form will open. So now I think you have understood like what I've done, what I've used here, and the card as well, the card option, the material, like the material function which I've used and all. So and the state and the enum part why I've used and what is the use of this and all. Okay. So thank you for this video. I think in this video I've just generated the the form, the login form here. Now in my next video I'll show you how the register works and how the login and the other things works. Okay, so thank you for this video. Please follow these steps perfectly. You'll get this form as it is. I think this is like a professional form, like, yeah, so this would be more attractive for the users as well. I'm using it in my next page. If you want, you can use the bottom sheet here, and then you can use it below this. So I'll show you, wait, how if you use bottom sheet, how it looks. Okay, so just simple, I'll just comment this line and I'll use this line. Okay, now see how it works. Yes. See, if you use bottom sheet, it would look like this. So if I go on login, go to register, but forgot password, it would be like this. So this is how the bottom sheet works, and I've also showed you how the navigate works as well. So I think you like this video. Please like the video, subscribe my channel as well, and this you can share to your friends so that they will also feel it more informative. And in my next video, I'll show you how the registration part works and all. So, okay, if you want any other things to be explained or any other things to be done, please comment me below. And thank you for this video. Thank you.